Hey guys, today we're going to be painting a Mexican sun canvas. So we're going to need a canvas, like the one that came in your kit. You're going to need something that's a circle to trace that's going to fit inside your canvas. You want to have enough room to make your rays around the sun. And you're going to need your paint. I sent you a strip of paint so you can use that. And you're going to need a paintbrush and probably a pencil and even a Sharpie, okay? So you should have all that stuff from your kit. So go ahead and get all that stuff together and we'll get started. Okay guys, so let's go ahead and get started. What we're going to do is we're going to start out by tracing our circle. So whatever kind of circle that you've got to use as a stencil, you're going to use a pencil to trace around it. If you'll hold your pencil straight up and down and go around whatever it is you're tracing, then you'll have a perfectly good circle right in the middle, okay? Then we're gonna make a face that goes on our sun. So most of these Mexican suns, their nose started from the middle. They got kind of a person looking nose. So we're gonna make two lines that come down straight, and this part is gonna be their eyebrows. So we're gonna draw it and draw their eyebrows on there. And they kind of have like people looking eyebrows more than, you know, they're supposed to kind of look like a mixture between a person and a sun, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, they have people-like characteristics. So then their eyes, we're going to do a half of a circle or like a rainbow line that comes around. And then we're going to make the bottom part kind of shaped like a football. And then we're going to make the inside of the eye with a circle, okay? So go ahead and do that much. Now, then what we're going to do is we're going to put two little dots down here for the nostrils, and it's going to go around like that. And like I said, you can make it look, you know, more like a person if you want it to. Then it's going to have the mouth. So we're going to make an M and then stretch it out for the lips. So we've got an M shape at the top. It goes around like that, and then the lips at the bottom. So see how it looks more like a person. So then I'm going to make, what I'm going to do is just leave it like that, because I'm going to, when I'm painting it, I'm going to, you know, embellish it a little bit. Now, I'm not going to paint the rays yet. I'm going to do that with the brush. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the whole thing yellow first with my paintbrush. I also meant to get you a thing of water, to tell you to get you a thing of water. So sorry about that. I forgot that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get started. And I'm just going to paint all of the inside of my sun with my paintbrush. So I'm going to paint all of this inside. And you're still going to be able to see your lines underneath this yellow paint. So we're going to paint all of this in. And usually the Mexican suns are painted on tiles. We didn't have tiles because that would be too hard to ship to you and they'd probably get broken. So we're doing it on a canvas just because you wouldn't have a kiln to bake your tile in and all that kind of stuff, and it would kind of be pointless. So I thought we would just go ahead and paint it on a canvas. And that would be something that you could put on your wall or on your dresser or something like that that you would enjoy looking at. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to fill in our sun's face like this. Now the thing about the Mexican sun tiles and the ceramic pieces that they hang on their walls and things like that is they've got lots of bright colors on them. So we're using this bright yellow first, and then we're going to add some other embellishments to our sun. And then we'll probably, once it's dry, we can go over it with the Sharpie. So we're going to go ahead and fill all this in with the yellow. And then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to paint the sky color back behind it, just because I think that'll be easier to do it that way than to try to do it the opposite way. So now I'm going to get another brush, because this one is the one I was using for my yellow. So I'm just going to use a different brush. Now you've got the other one that came in your kit. I've given you two different brushes, so you can use those. So I'm going to get this blue. Now the blue that you have in your kit might be a little bit darker. So if it is, you can mix it with the white and make you a light blue, or you can use the bright blue that you have in your box. Whichever one you want to do is fine. So I am going to go around my sun and paint the sky back behind it with the bright blue. Go all the way around. And like I said, you've got royal blue, I believe, with your paint. So you can use your royal blue. You don't have to use this light blue. This is just what I happen to pick up. So it's no big deal. But if you want your blue to be lighter too, then you can use white to mix with it. So I'm going to kind of hold the side of my canvas and paint around it. And I want to paint it around in a circle, just because that makes it look like it's in the sky to me. I want it to look like it's got the sky flowing all around it. So I'm just kind of moving my canvas. You don't have to leave your canvas in the same spot the whole time. If you want to turn it around so you can get to it easier, that is perfectly fine. You don't have to leave it at the same time. And I know that some of you have seen people just painting on an easel and leaving it on the easel the whole time, but you do not have to do that. When you're painting something like this, you can turn it all around and do it however it's easiest for you. Okay, I'm gonna move it back. Sorry, I didn't realize I was off the screen like that. Happened to look up for a second. So, going around. Now I'm gonna use the side. I'm gonna paint the side of my canvas as well, because I want it to look finished. So when you see it from the side, it's all painted and looks nice too. I don't want to have just the front painted. I want all of it to look nice. So I'm gonna paint the edges as well. Now you're going to have to be careful not to get it all over you. But I have seen a lot of these when I go to Florida. A lot of people like to have these bright Mexican suns on the wall, and they're so colorful and so pretty. And it just looks really happy. They just make me happy to see them. I hope everybody's got some paper down so you don't get any kind of paint on your tables or anything. Got to make sure you always take care of your workspace and you cover everything up. So make sure you go back and forth and get all your spaces covered. And you can kind of even hold it underneath the bottom so you can get it on there really well. Cover it up. So of course, if you don't want to watch me painting all this part, you can always fast forward it. But you're probably painting along with me, so that'll work just fine. As always, if you need to pause the video, that's fine. It's not a problem. You do whatever you want to do. It's your thing. Now, the fun thing about these suns is you can give them different personalities. So you can make them look however you want them to. You could paint them where they've got different colors on there. You can add orange to them, red to them, whatever you want them to look like. On the video that I posted, it showed you lots of different versions. So if you wanted to stop that video and sketch out something, you're welcome to do that too, because yours does not have to look like mine. You know that. I always tell you, yours does not have to look like mine. You make yours however you want it to look. Mine's just to give you an idea. You can change it up however you want to. Make it your own. I don't expect you to copy me at any time. I'm just showing you how to do it, and you can take it from there. Everybody should have their own expression and get it the way that they want it. So, just covering all the way to the edges. And later, if you wanted to go back and paint some clouds on the side or something like that, that would be really cute. Or you can make polka dots around it. You know, you can make all kinds of designs. Whatever floats your boat. So I'm going to set that down like that so it can dry. I'm going to get just a few more little wispies around there just to kind of cover up that light part. Like that. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of orange, and I'm going to kind of add a little bit to my cheeks on my sunshine, just to make it look a little bit different. Give her some cheeks. My sunshiny girl. And I think I'm going to make her lips kind of have some red to them. Now what I'm going to do is when I'm completely finished with this, I'm going to go back over it with a Sharpie so it really shows up. I'm going to use my bright blue for the eyes. It's a little bit easier sometimes to make all that detail with that. Now, I'm also going to use some white over that blue so it shows up better. It's going to be hard if you paint your yellow right on top of the blue. It might not show up as well. So I'm letting that kind of dry a little bit on the background. But I'm going to take some white, and I'm going to just make some streaks, kind of. So I'm going to make one go over here and one go over here. And what I'm going to do is give myself a base coat for my sunshine rays, because I'm going to paint yellow over the top of them, and I want them to really show up. So I want my yellow to be able to show. So I'm going to go from the outside, or from the inside to the outside for my sunshine. Okay, so I've got that working so far, so I'm gonna let that dry a little bit, and then I'm gonna take this end of my paintbrush and I'm gonna dip it in the orange, because I'm gonna make some dots on my sun, because I want it to kind of have a flower look to it on the top. But I want it to be a little bit bigger than that. So I'm gonna add some more paint. Because a lot of them have got really cool designs and stuff, so I want it to look really neat. So I'm gonna make some flowers. So I'm gonna kind of pull that in like that to make like a flower. All right. And then what I'll do in a minute is I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna add some more onto my picture just to make it really bright. So I'm gonna make my little cheeks really bright with the end of my brush. I want it to really show up. Okay, now rinse that part off a little bit. Get that off the end. Okay, so like I said, I'm not gonna go over the eyes and stuff with, I'm not gonna go over the eyes and stuff with the paintbrush. I'm gonna do that with a little Sharpie here in a little bit. So I've already got where the yellow and the blue mixed, it kind of made the eyes look green. So I'm gonna put another layer of blue on there just because I want them to be blue. In a minute, I'm gonna go over it with that Sharpie like I told you. All right, so hopefully by now my white is dried a little bit. You can always take a hairdryer and dry it too. But now I'm gonna go over that white with my yellow. To make my sun. So there's that. Now, the next thing I'm gonna do is make like a little triangle that comes up in each little section. that's in between those rays, and I'm gonna paint that orange just because I want a little bit of variety. So I'm just making little bitty triangle kind of shapes in between there. Because I'm gonna come back in a minute and paint little orange rays coming out. Put just a little dot of light on there, so they show up. Now we'll let that dry for a second, and then we'll go back and add some orange in. Let's see. I think I'm gonna go back and add a little bit more yellow on my streaks there, just so they really pop. And you can keep adding more and more layers too, if you want it to be brighter. That's the thing about acrylic paint. That's the kind of paint this is. You can go through and add layers and layers and layers and make it brighter and brighter, however you want it to be. I'm gonna put some more down there. And these are just fun little paintings that you can do. You could do another one with the moon. Sometimes they made the moon and the sun in one thing, like they did. Half of it was the moon and half of it was the sun. Those were really cute too. Let's see. I'll get my skinnier brush back out and use this for the orange. Oh, it's not dry yet. So I'm just gonna put little orange V's on here. I'm gonna have to let that dry a little bit. I think it's not ready yet. So let me let that dry and I'll come back. Okay, let's see if it's ready yet. So I'm gonna get my orange on here and I'm gonna make a V. And it's not totally dry yet, but it's okay. We'll keep it working. We're just painting the little rays that are coming out off the side. I'm going to go back and I'm going to add some orange through the yellow. I hope I get to go to Mexico one day so I can see somebody making these beautiful ceramic pieces and all of the tiles and stuff. That would be so much fun. When I went to Portugal one time, we went to a place where they were making the tiles, and it was so fun. And I actually got to make one. I got to roll it out, and it was really neat because, you know, for years and years and years, that was the way that they made all the tiles, and they were very intricate. And so they were just beautiful. Now I'm going to make him some eyebrows. Or her. I don't know what it is. I guess it's a her. It can be whichever you want it to be. Goes down like that. And down the nose a little bit. I think I'm going to make little dots that go all the way around. You have to be very patient and careful when you're making your dots and you're dipping it on the other side with your brush. Because if you get in too big of a hurry, it's not going to look good. So you don't want to do that. And if you don't get enough paint, just go back and get you some more on there. Go around. Pretty. Now, we're going to let that dry. And then once it's dry, we'll go over it with the Sharpie for the details. And we'll be finished with our picture. Now, I did want to show you if you wanted to add some little clouds to the side. That would make it really interesting. So let's go around and paint a few little clouds. So like I said, it doesn't have to be realistic, but you can make you some little clouds. Just make some little wispy clouds with your paintbrush. So we're just going to just think about how clouds look in the sky. They're just kind of just little wisps. And sometimes they're long, and sometimes they, a little something on that one. Sometimes they stretch out. Sometimes they're round at the top, and sometimes they've got funny shapes. So you can make your clouds however you want. You can make them big and fat and fluffy, or you can make them, you know, long and skinny. It's up to you what you want your clouds to look like. You can have them kind of coming off the side like that, and then wrapping around the front if you want to. You can make your clouds come onto the front of your canvas like that, and you can make them have some more little curves and stuff. So on this one, I'll just make it kind of come around like the cloud is right behind it. And then over here, I'll make this one coming off the edge. And turn it to the other side. That's good and dry now, so that's no problem. It's one of those nice summer days when the clouds are all the different shapes that you can see. Different animals and stuff in them. I love doing that when you're outside in the afternoon and the clouds are flowing by and you can see little turtles and dolphins and all kinds of funny things. A bear with a basketball, all kinds of stuff. It's pretty neat. So there you go. I'm not going to paint them on the very bottom because of course it would be sitting up like that and you wouldn't see the bottom. So I've got it facing this way. Now, this is the part where you can go in and change stuff around. If you want to add some more yellow to it, you can do that. So if I wanted to go back and add some more yellow to my rays, I can to make them wider. Or I can add more orange. You can change it around however you want to. So if I like this one and I want to make it more orange, then I can add more orange in. So you can do it however you want. Make it kind of come out more on the sides like that, like it's fire. Cool. Okay. Now, I think I do want to go over my little triangles that come out on the sides a little bit in between there. I do want to make those a little more prominent. So I'm going to add to those little guys a little bit. So like I said, you can always go back and add to it if you want to. I don't really like how that ended up. Okay. So we'll let that dry for a few minutes and then we will add in some details with our Sharpie. Now, you got to be real careful and make sure that your picture is dry on the part where you're using your Sharpie, because if it's not, it'll mess up your Sharpie and it won't work the same. So right here, I'm going to trace over my eye with my Sharpie. So you can add in details with the Sharpie that's kind of hard to add it in otherwise. Because sometimes when you're using your paintbrush, it's hard to get those details like you want them. So there you go. There is your Mexican sun canvas. If you guys would like to upload them to the Creativity Club page, I would love to see them. And I hope you guys had fun. Let me know what you do and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.